More often than not, when people do see me using this box, they do ask, what kind of box is it and what do I store inside? So in this video, I'll answer exactly that. Just to make sure I'm stressing it enough. So in this video I will be talking only about my super ultralight box, which as you can see is on the top here. Those two boxes on the bottom are used for my big perch and pike fishing. So in this video you will see a box which I will be talking about with loaded to the rims with tiny hooks, tiny lures, fine line, etc. Before talking about the box and the contents of that box themselves, let me quickly cover what do I look for in a good lure fishing box. And the requirements are quite simple ones. There are 5 of them. First of all, the box must be able to swallow all the lures I might need for my lure fishing session. The same applies to the hooks. The box must have enough compartments to store different size and different pattern hooks in it. The same applies to the weights. The box still must have enough compartments after I filled it with lures and hooks to store different patterns and different weight or different size weights. The same applies to the line. I must be able to fit into my box at least 2 or 3 different diameters of fluorocarbons, because most of the time I use fluorocarbons for my lure fishing. And lastly, the box must be able to accommodate scissors as well. Scissors are very important when tying and chopping off the ends of my rigs, those tag ends I mean. So, and this little box does everything perfectly in my opinion for my super ultralight and light lure fishing. Ease of use is very important as well. So I must be able to open the box easily, and those see-through lids do help me to identify the item I will be looking for in any given situation. It's very important. And obviously when the box is shut, I want it to keep that way, so it would not open when I don't want it to open and spill all the contents all over my rucksack, etc. Right, the box itself. That's a Corda tackle safe, but I think company called NGT has a copy of that box for a half a price, which has the same specifications as this one. That's about 22 centimeters in length, couple centimeters in height, and just probably about over 10 centimeters in width. So not a very big box at all. Also, what I did on this box, I did write with a marker what kind of stuff this box holds. So super ultralight lure, because I have a few of these boxes and I don't want, to end up going lure fishing and grabbing my carp fishing box. That would be a very big disaster. Okay, so this box has 2 big sections, as you can see, equal size, and I will go about every single section. So the deeper section, as you can see, it has big compartment here where I keep my lines. So obviously the line must be or the spool of the line must be compact in a way. You won't be able to fit very big, tall and just big in diameter spools, but you will be able to put quite a few smaller ones. For example, I have 3 spools of line in here. Also, what I did for this box, I glued some magnets here so I would be able to drop my scissors onto the magnets and the scissors would not, like be floating around together with the lines. Now my lines can't be damaged by the scissors. Very, very simple. And the scissors themselves, as you can see, they are a little bit rusty, but still they do work okay. Very cheap and easy way to kind of perform precise and quick cuts with that kind of scissors. When it comes to the line, I have very fine ones. That's 0.075 for my like bream and roach fishing on lures. A little bit thicker, 0.095 for my, again, like small perch fishing, bream fishing, and a little bit thicker, that's 0.15 dive fluorocarbon. All these are fluorocarbons. I prefer fluorocarbon when lure fishing every single time. Also, I have some experimental lures here. Those are tiny spoons, like 0.5 gram spoons. Very, very tiny stuff. Okay, so that's my main compartment where I keep my lines and scissors. And from time to time when I'm changing the lures, I just, say, drop a few lures around here. But most of the time I sort them after fishing, so it would be nice and neat. Okay, now we talked about the lines and main compartment. Let's talk about hooks, I guess. Hooks will be in the other compartments. Just some here, here, some here, some here. Okay, so one thing to remember about this little box is that the closing type is by magnet, so you don't want to be keeping any hooks in those corner compartments, so nothing magnetic here, here, and the same applies to the other section here and here, because they will be sticking to the magnets and it will be just messy to close every time. You will have to clear them, etc. So the hooks, right here I have very tiny little Jigheads for my trout and bream fishing. 0.5 gram, 0.2 grams hooks, like size 12s, 14s, that kind of thing. Some are tungsten, some are lead. I have the same situation here, just with a smaller hook. Those will be like 18, 16s for my roach fishing mostly. That's that. Then I have some hooks here. Those will be like very, very tiny hooks for my CHEB weights. As you can see, tiny hook, like number 18, I think, with a big eye. So I would be able to put this little hook onto a CHEB weight. Some lead weights here as well, or Jigheads when I need even slower fall through the water with tiny hooks. Then I have some bigger hooks, like those will be like, for example, for my drop shot fishing, size 2s, I believe. Some bigger like CHEB hooks as well. I do keep those like mixed. So for example, in this compartment I have like for drop shotting like size 2, 4, 6, 8, and the same applies here. I have smaller hooks like size 2, size 4, size 6 for my CHEB weights with a big eye or big-eyed hooks. Obviously, I would prefer to have even more compartments and to have every single size and pattern of the hook in a separate compartment, but just the box then would be bigger. And I'm happy, just to pull some amount of hooks, put them into my, hand and look for a hook I need to, for a given situation, maybe a small one, maybe a big one. Again, as those boxes are quite comfortable, it's quite easy, just to grab all the lot, and then after you are done, just put them back. Obviously, when you will be closing the box, you just want to be sure that the compartment is, you know, clear of the hooks, that so you would be able to close it properly. But again, I don't need to use it like, you know, every 5 minutes. I use it like every half an hour or so. So I'm okay to search for a right hook for a right situation. Okay, we covered hooks. Now let's go to the weights. We covered weights a little bit already when I was talking about those tiny jigheads, but I have more here. So my CHEB weights, I have from 1 gram, 1.5. No, those are 1 gram, tiny black, as you can see, tiny little tungsten CHEB weights. Then I have 1.5 gram, 2 grams, 3 grams, and 5 grams. Still, I mean, those for a 5 gram weight, those are not super big because they're tungsten. Then I have different types of weights in here. My drop shooting weights. Obviously, I prefer to use for my drop shot. Oh, by the way, I have a little like sharpening tool from time to time. You know, when I am too lazy to change the hook and retie the rig, I just might sharpen the hook if I feel that it's enough. You know. So yeah, for my drop shotting and my like jigger rig, I like to use these like pear-shaped leads, but I have some drop shot weights as well in here. Not a lot though. So those are lead. I'm okay to use lead when I'm drop shotting. I think it matters less because, you know, the lure will be further away from the weight, so the weight I think can't be bigger. Okay, we covered almost everything except lures. So I have lures like in most compartments, as you can see, and I would say there are like 3 main types of lures I prefer when I am fishing for smaller species, you know. So I will start with my like bugs, you know. So those are my bugs. I have them in different colors. I will obviously, one important thing to remember, you can mix the colors, but the colors must be kind of similar, so you can't mix like white, pearl, that's fine. You can mix like light yellow with light green, that's fine, but you don't want to mix, for example, motor oil with yellow or motor oil with white. Then you would ruin those bright colors. So you don't want to mix quite different colors. Obviously the shapes does not matter. For example, in here I have worms, bugs, etc. in similar colors. Anyway, going back to the shapes, right, of the lures. So bugs, right? So I have yellow, white, and also in other compartments I have like, again, the same exact lure, just different color, like I would say olive or something like that. And also I have black ones in here. So that's great. I have 4 different colors and the ones I prefer for that lure, which is great. Okay, I won't be putting them back just now. We'll chuck them aside. Then the other very, very important type of lure is worm. So I have a few different worms. Those probably would be my favorite ones. Those are very, very good as well. And then obviously I have them in different colors as well. I have, as you can see, a couple of whites. Well, white is very good color, like for trout, grayling on lures. Probably my favorite, actually not probably, by far my favorite color. So I have some oranges, I have some dark worms, multicolor ones, black. Also I have plenty of worms here, like a little bit bigger, much bigger. So as you can see, plenty of worms. And even though I'm taking just very odd worm from those like compartments, you can really like fit a lot of stuff in this box. It's insane how many stuff you can put actually in this box. If I would take everything out, I would need much wider lens for this video, because it's just really covers a lot. Okay, so really my worm type lures are when the fishing is very difficult, when really it's very difficult to get a bite, and you know, you put a worm on, that's great, you are starting to get bites. Okay, and the third type would be my crayfish type lures. I really like crayfish type lures. It seems that those crayfish type lures are like in warmer months, you will catch like every single perch, like small wasp, 3-pounder you will catch as well on the same small lure. Those like crayfish lures or like creatures, they are insanely good in my opinion. Again, I have plenty of colors. I have like salmon, motor oil, sparkly one, black one. I have also different sizes, a little bit bigger, different pattern which falls through the water slowly. As you can see, plenty of crayfish to choose from, and on a given situation some of these will work better than others. And as you can see, it's insane, ridiculous how many of those worms I can fit in this, or lures in general, I can fit in this little box. So yeah, also I have some like different lures, like for example little minnows, like that or that, but I very rarely use them. So also I have a special compartment here for my tiny stuff. That's really for my, just this one, that's really for my roach and bream fishing. So tiny, like 2 centimeter long lures, as you can see, very tiny. Obviously I quite like those bugs I was talking about. They are good for, like, say, trout, right? Sometimes for bream as well, but when I need smaller lure, I just break it in two. Observe, see? And this actually, this little bit is by far my favorite lure when it comes to catching bream and roach. They just love it. So very good. As you can see, guys, it's a ridiculous amount of stuff you can put in this box. Really lots of compartments, like for example, I don't even want to start counting, but I will just, you know, just for sake of doing it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 compartments on one side, and a little bit less on this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 29 compartments in total. So you can put 29 different types of items in this box, and the box itself is not huge. As you can see, both my hands more or less can cover this box. It's really great box in my opinion when you want to store small stuff in it. But it's a little bit from me for today. I hope you have found this video useful. If you did, please consider subscribing. Also, for some of the items you did see in this video, I will leave the links in the description below. Check them out. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.